Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking through some player props I like on Prizepicks for today's NBA slate on Thursday, November the 2nd. We've got only 4 games tonight, so it's a little bit of a smaller slate. Not a ton of props to love today. I've been looking at the board trying to find some plays I liked. It's a little bit tough. I don't really like this slate. I don't like a ton of props, but I still was able to find 2 plays, guys, that I do like for tonight, and we will share these 2 plays in this video. We'll talk through why I like these plays as well. Before we do that, though, as always, if you guys do enjoy these Prizepicks videos and if they help you out, make sure you hit that like button down below, guys. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you are new to Prizepicks, if you have not signed up for Prizepicks yet, sign up. Use that promo code NOAH. You will get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code. And I do want to also give a quick shout out to Sleeper because we are also partnered up with Sleeper. If you guys don't know what Sleeper is, they are an app similar to Prizepicks and a lot of these other DFS pick'em apps. On Sleeper, you're picking over or under on player projections, but it is a little bit different in terms of the payouts. On Sleeper, it is a dynamic payout system. So what that means is you're basically, the odds or the payouts for each prop you take do change based on what the odds are. So if the over is favored, you'll get a little bit lesser of a payout. If the under is favored, you'll get a little bit lesser of a payout on the under. But they offer a multiplier system. On Sleeper, though, they are able to offer props that some of these other sites can't offer. Obviously, on Prizepicks, it's a fixed payout. Whether you take the over or the under, the payout doesn't change. So Prizepicks basically wants all their props to be like even money, 50-50 type bets. Well, on Sleeper, you can take stuff like double doubles, triple doubles. You can take stuff like that and get like really high payouts, 2.5x, 3x payouts off just that one pick. And on Sleeper, you can make up to 8 pick entries. You can win up to 100x your money. So if you really like to chase for those high payouts, I definitely recommend giving Sleeper a try. If you guys are not signed up for Sleeper yet, download their app either on the App Store or the Google Play Store. Use that promo code NOAH when you sign up for Sleeper. You'll get your first deposit matched up to $100 as well. But let's talk about some Prizepicks plays I like for today, guys. 2 props we're going to be looking at. 2 fantasy scores for today. And I know I got this video up a little bit later than I really wanted to. I wanted to make this video last night, but last night there just weren't really any props on the board. Like they only had like a few props available, so it was hard to make the video last night, so I figured I'd just wait till today. But yeah, we got 2 props to talk about for this Thursday slate. 2 fantasy score props I'm looking at. The first one we're going to take a look at is going to be Pascal Siakam's fantasy score of 34.5. And I like the over here, so more than 34.5 fantasy score for Pascal Siakam. And for those of you that are maybe new to Prizepicks, if you don't know what fantasy score is, if you just click right here where it says scoring chart, you go to NBA, you look at the NBA scoring chart, this is how fantasy score is calculated. So for every point, you get 1 point for every point. You get 1.2 points for every rebound, 1.5 points for every assist. You get 3 points for every block, 3 points for every steal, and then you lose a point for turnover. So that's how fantasy score is calculated. If you've ever played DFS on FanDuel, it's the same scoring system that FanDuel uses. It's the same scoring system that Yahoo uses as well. But let's talk through why I like this over on Siakam. So if you take a look at Siakam's game log this season, it's not very pretty. He's only gone over this line in 2 out of 5 games this season. But there's a couple things that I want to mention here. So Siakam, he has produced at the lowest fantasy point per minute rate of not of his career, but over the last 5 seasons. This is the lowest fantasy points per minute rate he's produced since 2017. So in 2017, Siakam averaged 0.9 fantasy points per minute. Every other season after that, he averaged at least 1 fantasy point per minute. Last season, he averaged the highest fantasy point per minute rate of his career, 1.19 fantasy points per minute. Well, so far this season, through their first 5 games, Siakam is only averaging 0.9 fantasy points per minute. He's not been super productive from a point per minute basis, but I expect that to change. Like, I don't expect Siakam to average less than a fantasy point per minute, especially now that Fred VanVleet is no longer on the team. I mean, without VanVleet, we did see Siakam get a big bump in usage last season. Siakam was very productive in the games he played without VanVleet last season. So I'm expecting Siakam's fantasy point per minute rate to jump. I don't expect him to continue to average, again, less than a fantasy point per minute. And this projection on Prizepicks is almost like assuming that he's going to average less than a fantasy point per minute. I mean, Siakam typically plays really big minutes. If you look at his game log this season, in terms of minutes played, 34, 41, 36, 35, and 33 minutes. And it's worth noting last night, obviously he only played 33 minutes, but that was a blowout against Milwaukee. So I think in a competitive game here, we're probably going to see 35, 36 minutes from Pascal Siakam. if he averages a fantasy point per minute, which he's done over the last 5 seasons of his career, I think we had a very good chance of getting the over on 34.5 fantasy score here. I know the production's been a little bit down for Siakam lately, but I expect that to turn around at some point. I don't think he's going to continue to be as bad as he has been. And this line of 34.5 is pretty low for a guy like Siakam, who's, again, typically been a strong permanent producer. So I do like this over here, more than 34.5 fantasy score for Pascal Siakam. That's the first play I like for today. And then the other play that I like to pair with that, we're going to look at Kelly Oubre's fantasy score of 25.5, and I also like the over here for Oubre. So with the Sixers trading away James Harden and also trading away PJ Tucker, we should see Kelly Oubre have a bigger role. They've already said that Kelly Oubre is going to be in the starting lineup, at least for now. The Sixers did acquire a lot of guys, like they got Robert Covington, they got Nicholas Batum, who I think is injured right now. They got KJ Martin, so they got a lot of guys from that trade. They picked up some guys from the Clippers, but it looks like Oubre is going to be the starter, at least for right now. And Oubre is a good point per minute player. If you take a look at Kelly Oubre, throughout his career, just over the last 5 seasons, dating all the way back to 2018, he averaged 0.98, 0.96, 0.94, 0.94, 1, and then this season 1.04. So he's averaged at least 0.9 fantasy points per minute the last 5 seasons of his career. This season, in 3 games played, he's averaging just over a fantasy point per minute. He is over this fantasy score line in 2 out of 3 games this season. Had 31 fantasy points against Milwaukee, 36 against Toronto, and then last game against Portland, only 23.6 fantasy points. But if you look at last game, he did have a very poor shooting game. He shot 3 for 10. He also only played 26 minutes, which was the lowest he's played this season. I would assume now that Oubre is going to be starting, we can project him for probably 30, 31, 32 minutes, maybe even more than that. I could see Oubre playing like 34, 35 minutes. And again, Oubre is a good permanent producer. He's a guy that's going to shoot the ball when he's on the floor. He can rebound. He can also get defensive stats. He had 2 blocks he had 2 steals and a block last game. He had 3 steals in that game against Toronto. He had a steal in that game against Milwaukee. And getting those steals and blocks are huge for fantasy score because, as we talked about, those are worth 3 points each. So if we project Oubre for 31, 32 minutes here, if we project him to average close to a fantasy point per minute, I definitely like this over of 25.5 fantasy score for Oubre. He will be playing a lot of his minutes with Joel Embiid and with Tyrese Maxey, so maybe his per minute production takes a little bit of a hit, but obviously he's not going to play every single minute with those guys on the floor. They'll probably stagger up the rotation so that Oubre will get some time. Maybe Oubre will play with the second unit. Like, we'll have to see how they run their rotation. But if we're going to get 30-plus minutes from Oubre, as good of a point per minute player as he is, I like his chances of getting more than 25.5 fantasy score. So these are 2 props, guys, I like for this little Thursday slate. Again, 4 games tonight, not the biggest slate, not the best slate overall, but these were 2 props I liked. Taking a first look at the board right now. I will be sharing a couple more plays for today over on Patreon. I'll share those later this afternoon. Probably a few more NBA plays. I will be taking a look at the board for NFL. I know I didn't make an NFL video for this Thursday night game, the Titans-Steelers game, but I'm going to take a look at the board and see if there's any props I like for that. I will be sharing those over on Patreon. So if you guys do want more Prizepicks plays from me, you can check out the Patreon linked down below in the description. But as always, guys, appreciate you watching the videos, supporting the content. Hit that like button if you guys enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys are new to the channel, again, go check out Prizepicks, linked down below in the description, or just when you sign up for Prizepicks, use that promo code NOAH. You will get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code. But that's all that I got for tonight, guys. Good luck on this Thursday slate. Hopefully we can hit both these plays, make some money tonight. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.